game, and shoot 30% and still win. So defense was an anchor for us today. It got some. It was enough to get the W. They didn't shoot a great percentage either, and we forced the turnovers on them. That was a big difference in the game. Much different than our game at Wisconsin. We stole the ball, we forced turnovers, and we didn't give it right back to them with turnovers. So, they're really disappointed how we handle ourselves in the closing minutes, and something we got to work at as we go forward, because we did not, our shot selection and our decision making wasn't great at that time. But that's what we got to do. We got to keep working. I think usually at this time of the year, you've had, this was the 19th game. You've had a lot of those games. We haven't had many of those games, and frankly, so we're not as good as we need to be at if we want to keep winning.
Ethan?
John, what did you see on the last play?
I saw and I heard, and I trust my ears. I saw the ball leave his hand, and I heard a buzzer go off, and it's usually a good sign.
In the back with Justin, TV.
John, what did you learn about your team today in this one that sticks out to you right now?
Yeah, that we got to grow a lot. We got to grow a lot. We have a 13-point lead late. How many times you see that happen in Michigan, where we let it go like that? So we got to continue to teach these guys what it takes to win games like that, because that could have went the other way. I mean, that would have been a devastating loss. But that would, when you're up by that amount, and we don't make foul shots, and then we also don't really execute an offense. We don't share the ball that way when you need to share it, right? You can get beat. Defensive transition, everybody watching, those are tough things for us.
Stay in that last row in the back right in the middle with Noah.
Aside from just it being a really close play at the end, did they give you any kind of explanation as to why the review was taking so long, or you just kind of
they don't. No, we're at their mercy. They don't let me come near them when they're in there, and I heard them talking maybe to Andy Katz, and it allowed me I could listen in from afar, and that allowed me to know that I think the big dispute was, did the shot clock go off? Was it out of his hands? Was there any time left? And it all worked out.
So to be clear, you heard the shot clock buzzer after it left his hand?
I saw the ball in the air, and then I heard the buzzer, and I think that's the best timing for me. Now, you can have the buzzer could be not in sync with the shot clock or the game clock. That's happened before. To have them all in sync is hard. And there may have been some discrepancy there, but it definitely was out of his hands, from what I heard, as soon as when I heard that buzzer go off.
And you stuck with Eli for a while today. Can you just talk about the minutes he gave you?
Yeah, he's got to give us minutes right here. We got to be able to have guys that come off the bench and go in there and play. And he had a couple of really nice plays. He's still got to be more anxious to shoot the ball, but he did a really good job. And he and David right now are battling in practice every day, and one of those guys is going to have to play more. Today was Eli.
With Andrew?
Coach, so the final play, did you get what you wanted with the,
Yeah, I mean, we were trying to get a guy that we has made foul shots at that time. We were trying to get Iggy isolated in something late, so we had enough time to get an offensive rebound. Didn't want to run too quick. On a great foul shooter and a guy that could finish at the rim today. And we didn't want to settle in that situation. We were 3 for 22 for 3, and it wasn't time to dial up a 3 to win by 3. It was a time to score and get to the foul line. And he didn't get it. They made a good play, but Charles was, as he always is, he's always around the basket cleaning up stuff.
And then during their 10-0 run, did you like the shots you were getting? Some?
No. I think we could have seen some other people, and that's something we got to work at.
You left with Sean.
A couple of them were good. A couple of them misses. I mean, we get right to the rim, we miss, but there's a couple times we got to turn those things down and keep dribbling and find somebody else.
John, Charles said that you guys aren't playing freely enough offensively. Used the word tension to sort of describe it being kind of overthinking. Do you agree with that? And when did you notice that maybe starting to creep in?
I think here's what they're all trying to understand the most: what team basketball really looks like. And everyone is, people are going to guard you different ways. They're going to guard you. You're up there and they intentionally walk you. You can't hit a home run that day because they intentionally walked you. So you got to get to first base and make the best of it. And that's the big thing you have to, with all basketball teams, but particularly at this high level with these good players, they have to continue to grow in that area to understand that just we got to continue to work together, find the best shot for Michigan, and that's the biggest thing. So I think that if there's any pressing going on, it's probably from the standpoint that there's a guy doesn't score and then he gets 18, a guy gets 18 then he doesn't get any looks. The defense has something to do with that. The other team has something to do with it. You might have a bad night, and they got to understand it. And they're too young, frankly, too, right now, and that's my job to teach them.
Stay right there. We'll go with the Don.
Reflection question. Duke, North Carolina, Louisville, Villanova. It's been 3 decades since this Michigan team has won a national championship, and those 4 teams had BU in the finals.
Yeah.
What kind of improvements do you have to make from what you saw in the second half of last year to the second half of this year in order to get to the next level and win that national championship?
You know, frankly, I don't even think about that, and I don't mean to be a rude answer to it. I think about that so little. Anything I'd give you right now would be we just got to get better every day. That's what we got to do. We got to improve every day, and we got to continue to be a better basketball team every day, and teach our kids how to play winning basketball, and we'll do that. And that's the pursuit every moment of practice, every moment of film. It's what's the right play to make. And then defensively, the same thing. You know, that we have to just hang in there and play really smart defense, box out, get rebounds so we can run.
On your right with Greg.
That mid-range shot is kind of a shot that's eluded Charles the last couple of weeks. Do you think that a buzzer beater like tonight is something that can?
I hope so. He's had a lot of really good looks this year. You know, from short distance, and it hasn't been good to him so far. But if we go back, he can do it. The Villanova, the Providence game, those games he was absolutely exceptional in those areas. And since then he struggled at times. So he's got a great attitude about it. He's working at it. And that one had perfect spin on it. The ball dropped right through the middle. Hopefully that's really going to be good for him, bode well for him.
Stay there with Orion.
Did you like what you saw from Beilein his shot selection in the second?
Yeah, I thought he took really good shots today. A couple times he took it and sort of to the rim a little bit and might have had other people. I don't think there's any question. But he's 1 for 7 for 3. He had 7 open threes. And we got to take that. But we didn't make threes today. No matter who it was, we didn't make some of those threes. And I thought that, with the there's probably of those 22 shots, there's probably 5 or 6 they would like to have back. But I thought we had really good looks. But we can't continue to take those bad shots, right, when we know it's just it's a turnover. It's a turnover.
We got time for a few more. Dan?
Right, Presidakis for the past couple games was probably 3 of 20 or something like that going into that final possession. How does a freshman earn that level of trust to get the ball?
What we see every day in practice, and what his attitude is like. He's not a guy that carries a lot of baggage around with him, and so as a result, he's like, and I mean, in his mind. So he's pretty good at moving on to the next play. So, but he was the only one that was making plays at times this game. We were in some little bit of foul trouble, and we liked his matchup, and we were trying to exploit that as much as we could.
Was there any doubt that he maintained his confidence there?
You know, like I said, I've had the Hardaways and the Duncans and Derek Waltons and DJ, all these great players, Stauskas, they all have dry periods in their game, and you just, hey, I'm saying this is good news, right? Because one of these days you're going to get hot and you're never going to stop. I'm glad we're getting rid of it now. And so I got a lot of confidence in him, and the shot. I liked his shot selection today. Actually, that was really good.
Beilein?
John Teskey's had a string of impressive games. Is that something you're just expecting from him now?
I'm so happy about it, really, that we have another way to score with him, and you know, his effort area is great. I mean, look, I don't think I took him out for 2 minutes, maybe in each half, and I'm just happy for him because he's such a good kid. And he's learning that, boy, if I got some talent here. If any of you saw that run he made at Wisconsin and made that catch, right? I don't think Mo Wagner makes that catch. So he's really trending in the right direction. He's rebounding. He's a defensive force. And I just love that little shot from the porch just to the left of the key that he made. That was a big shot. We were struggling at that time, and that was I think that might have been the last basket we made.
John, consecutive games under 60 points now. What's been different in these last 2 games?
We just haven't really, the ball's stuck a lot and the ball's not moving.
How hard does it make it?
And you know, here's another thing. And fast break, sometimes fast break we shouldn't even do it because we're jogging up the court. We got to sprint. We don't run. We don't run. Their numbers, defensive transition, not great. We jog up the court, and so we can't do it. We can't do it. So this is what they did. You end up getting scores in the 50s, 60s if you're not willing to really bust your butt and get up the court.
When your threes aren't falling, does that make it harder to get looks inside? Because
no, because it probably is, but I mean it's not like we're pounding it inside anyhow. We just got to make them when we're open, and some of our guys aren't getting open. It's because they're changing the basketball rules, saying we don't care. I mean, Wisconsin took a player and just face guarded one of our players, and he didn't have any help. But that was things. I'm sure this guy's not getting a look, and they're making other people do it. So it's and every game is different how they play.
So how do you get back to that, not spreading the ball around that you had?
Just film and rely on a good culture that they're intelligent kids that will get it, and in the heat of the game, they may get to a point where they don't see what's actually happening in the basketball game.
Andrew, you want to close this out?
Coach, you're saying some of the same things you said after Wisconsin,
yeah.
But with only, I guess, 2 days of practice, were you expecting more growth in some of these?
I was. I'd be lying to say if I'm not disappointed. So we're going to grow from it. I don't like to blame us, right? I like to give credit here that I thought, they just won a game like this. Minnesota just won a game like this over Penn State, virtually at the buzzer. And that they really had a good game. They made some great stuff. Murphy's tremendous. We did a good job. Iggy did a great job on him, and so did Teskey. But they really defended us very well. Their length bothered us a little bit. But we have to grow more, and probably foolish of me to think, geez, we watched 2 days of film, and it's just going to carry over. We just got to keep practicing.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks.